Washington football. Woo! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burgundy Zone. I am your host, Kyle, and I am joined by my two co-hosts, Michael Hall and Michael Reed. Tonight is a very special night. We have a huge guest joining us, big member of the Washington football team, the VP of Guest Experience, Joey Colby-Begovich. Thank you for joining us, Joey. How are you doing tonight?
I'm great. Thank you for having me, Kyle. Mike, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
Of course, and I can't thank you enough, Joey, because you being the VP of Guest Experience, I saw you on draft night, and you went above and beyond for me. So I wanted to thank you for doing that, because you went out all the way to my car to help me give the shoes to you for Ron Rivera. Not that many people would do that, Joey, in your position. You did. A lot of credit goes to you for doing that. Thank you. You're doing your job to a T.
Thank you.
So I wanted to, my first question to you, Joey. How was your first night with the fans? You know, you've only been with the Washington football team for a couple months, your first time around. On draft night, that was the first time you're actually able to be around fans at FedEx. How was that for you?
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was a dream come true. It sparked an excitement to me. You know, we only had around 3,000 fans there for that one night. Right. How great this is going to be when we are at full capacity at FedEx Field. I met so many people, folks like yourself, Kyle, that I've talked to we've talked to each other prior to the event, right? To meet people in person, fans that I've emailed with, that I exchanged tweets with, and just to meet people face to face and really hear about everybody's passion for the team, hope for the future of the team, is exactly what I needed to motivate me for the upcoming season. So could not be more excited. And I'm 5 days away from actually permanently being located in the DMV.
There we go.
There you go.
And so really excited about that too. So
I'm glad that you made that choice, because there's no place better. I'll tell you that.
We bought a house. There's no going back now.
Congratulations, Joe.
Yeah, there you go.
Congrats. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight. I just wanted to know what were some of the things that kind of drew you towards taking this job, and what kind of inspired you to take this job?
Yeah, it's interesting, Mike. I never thought that I never actually dreamed that I would work in sports entertainment. It wasn't part of my career goals until I met Jason Wright. And that really is what inspired me to take on this role. Jason was so intentional about my past in the hospitality industry, right? And how those skills transferred to what the vision for the team was. I couldn't say no. I also, his just vision for change and what could be, and how to get there and the steps to take it. I had never heard somebody in a leadership position articulate vision the way that he did. And I had to be a part of it. It was a tough decision. I was actually really happy with my career and my job that I left. But every day I'm reminded that this was the right decision for me. You know, I always tell people, when I career counsel them, or people that I've had the opportunity to lead, you spend most of your life at work. And it's not the days of our parents, right? Where, 50 years ago, you had these like siloed lives where you had your work life, and then your family life, and then your community life. Now it's all one big muddy mess. So you might as well be happy, and just as happy and inspired you are spending your time at work as you are with your family or in your church or in your community. And so that's what the Washington football team has been doing for me for the last 3 months. I could not be happier.
Yeah, It sounds like Jason, if he doesn't have further career in analytics, sounds like he can go into sales, no problem.
There's something about that man's eyes that just lure you in almost. Jason is so good at what he does. So let's get into what's going on a little bit. Now, the flavors of the DMV. For the people who don't know about that, can you tell us a little bit about it and what it is that you guys are doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of tons of initiatives that we are doing to bring our organization back to a fan-centric organization, back to the glory days when it was all about the fans. And the thing that is unique about our fans is that they are not just like a city or a state. They make up these three regions, you know, the district, Virginia and Maryland, well, at least Southern Maryland. And what is missing from a huge part of our fan experience at the stadium is local DMV food, right? Which is really unique, whether you're in the district, Virginia or Maryland. Like, it gets very unique regionally around there. And so Flavors of the DMV is an opportunity for vendors, food producers, restaurant concepts, farms, food trucks to raise their hand and say, I represent the DMV through my food, and I want to be a part of the stadium experience on game day. And so we are inviting vendors to participate and showcase their culinary treats with us, with the hopes of having them as a part of our game day experience this upcoming fall.
That's so awesome.
And I know that it's going down on June 14th, but I believe if other vendors want to become available, they have up until June 2nd to apply, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so anybody can apply. You know, there's some ground rules. You have to be a viable business. You can't be, you know, I cook great ribs in my backyard barbecue.
I can't grill some hot dogs for you guys.
Yeah. You know, they have to be in the DMV area. And they have until the 2nd of June to submit that they want to be a part of the showcase.
Now, Joey, this Flavors of the DMV, this part of it, is there going to be an aspect where you guys are really taking in a lot of focus and influence into the keto, the gluten-free kind of menu options for guests?
I mean, I would say yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, you know, there's going to be an option for those folks at the stadium regardless, right? This is all about showcasing the amazing, unique food that is available in the DMV. So no offense if you're on keto, if you're gluten-free, we're going to have those options for you at the stadium. But this is about highlighting the best that we have to offer as a community.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
Answer as well. And speaking of the foods from the DMV, can you maybe give us a little glimpse of some of the foods that might be entered into the contest?
Well, we have a couple, well, without giving it away, because we have not yet selected the folks that we will actually invite to showcase. We've only we've had 25 different concepts reach out to us and raise their hand to say they want to showcase. Anything from smokehouse to barbecue to, of course, Maryland crab cakes, a couple seafood options. There is a couple very unique sort of like Italian and pizza sort of options. Handful of food trucks have thrown their hat in the ring. And what's really interesting is some, maybe not like actual restaurants or food trucks, but some local farms and some local producers of food that produce some unique items like vegan burger options that they're produced locally. So those kind of stories I think are important to bring into the stadium.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that this is a fantastic idea. It's about time that the DMV kind of gets represented at a Washington game. If I can just run something by you real fast, I have a few names, some Washington puns for some of these things that some people can steal if they want. I'm not trademarking.
Tell it to me, Mike.
So we have the Hogs Hammers, which the Hogs, as we know, famous Washington offensive line. We have the London Fletcher Broil. We have the Sean Tailored Ham, and the RG3 should have sliders.
That was a little too close. That's a great one, Reed. I absolutely love that. Now, Joey, I have to ask you, in your personal opinion, what kind of foods do you enjoy at game day? When you think of game day at FedEx Field, if you were a fan sitting in the stands, what foods would you want to be eating?
Well, you know, I'm a little bit of a traditionalist. So if I go to a game, I'm definitely getting a hot dog, a pretzel, nachos, peanuts. I'm getting all four of those things regardless.
There you go.
But I would like to, every time I go to a sporting event, I like to, what is the unique thing in that stadium that's available, right?
Like Philly.
That you have to have. And my hope is that these concepts that we pick make our stadium unique. Like you can only get this at FedEx, right? And
there you go.
What is that? And so I hope that we create a little bit of a following around that.
I like that. I like that a lot because, you're right. All these different arenas and these stadiums, they all have their own thing that they have. FedEx really doesn't. Hopefully our thing turns into cinnamon and sugar pretzels. Yeah, I would love that.
I will take that note. I will take that note.
All right, so I was doing a little research and I saw that you last worked for Carnival Cruise Lines and you're the head of guest experiences there, VP. How is that going to translate over to a sports franchise?
So here's what I think. What's interesting about a cruise, right, is that there is a beginning point and an end point, right? You have all of your customer base captured for this set period of time. Now on a cruise, it could be, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, but it's the same on game day, right? It starts and it ends. It's unlike going to like a resort, for example, where everybody's arriving at a different time and everybody leaves at a different time.
Okay.
A cruise is very similar to a game day. It starts and it ends, and all of the touch points that you have to define within that to reach as many people as possible through the experience is the same as a game day, right? And it's the same thing on the cruise. It's the entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of the destination, or instead of a game, it's actually the destinations you're going to, but it's the food on board. It's the way that you navigate around the ship. Same thing in the stadium. It's the way that you arrive and that experience. Same thing in the stadium. So all of those things are exactly transferable to what we're attempting to do at FedEx. Now, I know that a lot of people are excited to get back in the building. We've announced that we're going to be at full capacity, which is really exciting.
Yes.
You're going to see a lot of change for this upcoming season. But here's the thing that's even more exciting than that. You're going to see more change each and every consecutive season with this new leadership team that we have in place. And so it's not just one and done and people are walking away from it. It's, okay, this worked really well. We need to rethink this. We're going to gather all of this data, more fan feedback, our fan ambassador network weighing in on everything that we're doing. And it's going to get better and better and better and better. And every time you walk in there, you're going to notice new and exciting differences. That's what we plan. I told Jason Wright this in my interview, and now I'm giving away all my secrets here.
Take notes,
but I believe in a concept called relentless incrementalism.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I never heard that.
It's basically this. You can have a long-term plan and a long-term vision that could take months, years, right? Along the way, you need to incrementally pick off all of the low-hanging fruit and then get data back and then make that better and then innovate more and then more, all while you're working towards this long-term vision. And so that's sort of my philosophy, and that's sort of what I'm trying to do from a guest experience side.
I'm sure that's what sold Jason right there.
I thought that real fast. My son is about to fall out of his crib. Hold on one second.
You're fine. All right, Joey, to wrap this up, the last thing, it's a two-part question I have for you, okay? The website says that the selections for the fan ambassadors on the culinary side is going to be in early June. Has there been any updates with that? And then the side question off of that, in your opinion, what makes the perfect fan ambassador? What are you looking for?
So to answer your first question, is kind of a non-answer, Kyle.
Okay.
Early June, we will announce the selected members of our fan ambassador network.
Cool.
So we're really excited about that. We've had a lot of engagement around it. It's been super fun. Got to talk to a lot of people one-on-one as well from our semifinalists. It's been fantastic. Here's what I think. I don't think there is a definition of the perfect fan ambassador, and I'll tell you why. Our fan base is super unique. There is diversity in age, race, gender, religion, age. Super diverse, and they're spread out around this super large region as well. And so I would say, I'll answer your question this way. There's also diversity in the way that people think, where they work, right? Their, their socioeconomic status. It's phenomenal. The perfect group, right? Because we're talking about culinary, let's take the culinary group, is diversity in that group of all of those categories, right? That's where I want the person who makes the best ribs in their backyard to be a part of. I also want, the person who is a catering chef, right? And really understands the business of food. And so building a group with diversity that can give diverse perspective from the diversity of our fan base, and not just having like-minded people together in a group, that's what is going to make the Fan Ambassador Network work in our favor.
150% I agree. Yeah. So honesty, I feel like, is the biggest key point. Not just to say things that make people feel good, but being honest about it. It's the best thing for you, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Joey, I can't thank you enough. I know how busy you must be. Just getting off the phone with Jason Wright, hopping on with us. I can't thank you enough, Joey. You have been an absolute pleasure. You've gone above and beyond for me personally, and then also coming on here and talking with us. I can't thank you enough, Joey. I hope you have a great night. Congratulations on the job in the new house. I hope you enjoy your night with your family.
Kyle, Mike, it's my pleasure always. Thank you.
Yes, I'm a little
appreciate it, man. Welcome to the DMV.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Joey.
Take it easy.
All right, everybody. We just spoke with our man, Joey. That was phenomenal, dude.
Yeah, I was a little bummed that James had to wake up and do something dumb. Then I had to go run in there. But that was so interesting. I love the concept that they're doing. I love everything that they're doing. What a perfect person to be in charge of that, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
There's a reason. You can tell. Jason Wright knows what he's doing hiring that man.
He only hits home runs. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, hearing him say that Jason convinced him to come into this world because just of what Jason told him, it tells you everything you need to know when you have a conversation with the guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That was
breath
awesome.
of fresh air.
Yes, it is.
Without a doubt. Now, one of the things that have come about, I wanted to get your guys' opinions on this and how likely it really is, and that we saw after we recorded, something came up, and it was that Jay-Z is possibly interested in being a minority owner for the Washington football team. I wanted to get your guys' opinions.
I would love that. I love Hove. I'm a big Hove guy. Yeah, he's one. He's one of the go-to. He's not only is he one of the greatest rappers of all time, but he's one of the greatest business moguls that we have currently. The guy, just everywhere that he goes, he succeeds. It makes sense. And I would, of course, I would be all about that. That's like the coolest thing that you could have is Jay-Z, the epitome of cool. At times, sometimes he can be a meme, but with as a part owner of your team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm glad you brought up his business side because I actually think he's a better business, like a business side guy than like an actual rapper. And a great rapper.
And that's saying something. Exactly.
Right. So yeah, I mean, like you said, it would be cool to just have like Jay-Z maybe like every once in a while pop up in the stadium, pop up in the box, sitting next to Dan Snyder, Jason Wright, and the crew. And obviously, if you got a guy like Jay-Z, it's not going to like help bring in free agents, so like the football side or anything like that, but it could just also, I mean, I think that I read it that they've been doing business like with his sports agency side and stuff like that already. So, I mean, they've already been kind of working like behind the scenes hand in hand. So, hey, if he wants to buy in and become a part of this fan base and accept us, hey, it's all good in my book. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, and I said it on Twitter, dude. Look, I don't know like if Jay-Z has all the money and everything that he needed to do this, but look, I love this move and it fixes Dan Snyder's issue.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, Dan Snyder is in the public view, right? He's looked at as negatively with everything going on. By adding in Jay-Z, that would be the flavor. That would be the big hype up for everybody around the area. Because it's like, oh, Jay-Z bought it out, and it would take eyes off of Dan Snyder. Because I think there's one thing that we could say about Dan Snyder, and that is he does not like to be on camera. He doesn't like speaking. He's the opposite of Jerry Jones in that in that aspect. He wants to be out of the he wants to stop being talked about. He wants to be able just to go back into the shadows, it seems. And this would be the best way to do it. I would love the move.
Right. And ultimately the goal for Jay-Z, he's stated before, he wants to own an NFL team eventually. And isn't this what Tepper did, the Panthers' new owner?
Would be the best way to kind of
right. He was a minority owner, and then he ended up he could buy in, and he ended up buying the Panthers. So, I mean, this is the way to do it if you're going to do it.
Yeah,
smart.
It is smart. Now, let's move on to our fan questions and would you rathers that have been sent in. And the first one, we can't go with anyone else than the Colonel. He said, are we going to have a legit QB1 this year, or will be on another carousel like last year and the year before?
I am hoping that we have a legit QB1. Obviously, I'm going to just go with like 1 + 1 = 2 and say that Ryan Fitzpatrick is QB1 going into OTAs, training camp, all that good stuff. And due to his past, like previous years in the NFL, I mean, he gets injured here and there. He's never had, knock on wood, a devastating injury that's kept him out for a long period of time. So I definitely think that I don't think it's going to be a 4 QB carousel again. I don't think it's going to be a 3 QB carousel again, barring something ridiculously crazy. I think that it'll be Ryan Fitzpatrick, and maybe something happens, God forbid, and he has to miss a week or two. I think they'll go to Taylor Heineke for a week or two. But I don't think it's going to be, oh, man, this guy got injured. Let me throw this guy in. Oh, man, this guy got injured. Let me throw this guy in. Or this guy's playing bad. Let me try this guy. I think that they have a plan and a set plan with the quarterbacks, and they're going to follow that as best as possible.
Yeah, and look, right here, like in my opinion with this, it's not like last year where you have question marks in Alex Smith and in Dwayne Haskins. Like, you have question marks there. With these quarterbacks on the roster, you know each one of these guys can come in, play, and start and do well. I do think we have the QB1, but I'm not going to sit here and say I don't think that we'll see the carousel because it's all based on injury. It wasn't like they were playing poorly and they benched him. It was, besides Dwayne, the majority was based on injuries. So regardless, I don't think it's going to be a QB carousel. I think it's Ryan Fitzpatrick's job to lose unless Taylor Heineke plays out of his freaking mind and somehow takes that job from him in training camp. And then maybe if he starts the season, does bad, blah, 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 then we see the QB carousel with Fitzpatrick coming back in. But the way that I see it projecting out and doing, I don't see Ryan Fitzpatrick losing that job.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's Fitz's job to lose. I mean, he's going to be the guy unless Washington ends up. I don't even want to say this, but unless they don't do as well as people think that they will, and then they want to see what they have in Taylor Heineke or an injury, like you said. I think those are really the only ways. But of course, after the season, yeah, there's going to be a carousel unless Heineke ends up being a long-term guy. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting.
Very
after this year.
Very interesting. Now, the Colonel's next question. He said, how do you guys really feel about Ron releasing Morgan Moses and Jaron Christian? He wants you to be honest.
I'll start this one. I will be 100% honest. I am disappointed that Moses is gone because I love Morgan Moses as a person. He's been a leader on that offensive line for a long time. He was the veteran on that O-line. He had a great relationship with Brandon Sheriff. However, I do trust what Ron and them are doing. I know that they have something in mind. And Cosme, if they want to play Cosme at right tackle to start out his career, I trust what they're going with. It does suck to see Morgan go. Jaron Christian, bye, good riddance. I don't think he would have made the team anyway. So
no. Yeah, we kind of talked about that a couple months ago about Jaron Christian and how most likely he was going to be gone based on his comments last year where he came out and said, I didn't try that hard because I knew I wasn't going to play, essentially. But with Morgan, look, I'm going to be honest, I was blown. I was, Colonel, but at the same time, I kind of understand because, like, if anyone that's played Madden ever in their life and if they've played a franchise mode longer than a year, these things come up. These questions of Ryan Kerrigan, of Trent Williams, of Morgan, they all come up, and you have to make that decision. And
you turn salary cap off.
And the one quote that Ron said that always sticks with me is that he said the lesson that he learned from when he was in Carolina was that he was letting guys get too old before letting them go. And that he was keeping them for that one bad year instead of getting rid of them before that. Now, would I sit here and say that Morgan was projected to have a bad year based on how he did progress last year? No, but at the same time, I'm not going to go against Coach here. I feel like Coach knows something that we don't. There's something behind the scenes that had attributed to this. I don't think it's him saying that this is not what we did last year. I don't think that was Morgan. Morgan doesn't have that type of personality, in my personal opinion. He was bought into the entire thing back in April, so I don't think that was the one to do it. But look, I'm blown, but I understand why Coach did it. I am worried because one of the things that we said when Ron came in here was that in Carolina, they really didn't have juggernaut offensive lines, and we had a good offensive line here, and we were worried that he was going to be able to sustain that offensive line and bring in more pieces and make that a juggernaut like our defensive line. Leaving Morgan, putting him aside, I think that kind of throws a wrinkle into things, but I trust Matsko. I'll let him do his job.
Yeah, starting with Jaron Christian, I was already kind of done with him just based off of what I had seen in the preseason in the beginning of his career. then obviously he comes out with the stuff last year where he's like,
he started out well. He started out well last year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So once he came out with even still though, once he came out with those statements last year, and like I didn't really like pay attention or train to talk because I had Trent in front of me. Obviously, you have Trent in front of you. Who's gonna really like be ready to be like? I got to be as an NFL player. First of all, you got to have the mindset. I got to step in at any point in time.
Right.
Any given Monday, any given Thursday. So for that, kind of threw me off to be like, nah. But then the coaching staff kept him around after that because I feel like they thought they can get something out of him. Obviously, fast forward a year later, they couldn't get anything out of him. So it is what it is with him. Hopefully, he finds another place in the NFL. We'll see. But as far as Morgan goes, I'm kind of with you guys where it does kind of like suck just for the simple fact of he was kind of like that vet in the locker room. He was one of the veterans on the offense. He was one of the leaders on the offense and that offensive line. Him and Sheriff are kind of the steady, like the vets in the offensive lineman room.
Right.
Yeah, it just kind of sucked. Obviously, like we had him on the show, so it was like it's even like kind of even more sucky because it's like, damn, man, we really liked him. Obviously, he liked Coach Rivera. He liked being here. He's from the area, but like you said,
built a house.
Exactly, yeah. But it's like you said though. At the end of the day, it's a business, and going back to Ron, like you said, coach's quotes, where the one thing he kind of regrets in Carolina was kind of sticking with guys a little bit too longer, and hey, if he wants to take the Bill Belichick route of, I'm going to cut a guy sooner rather than later to get the younger guys in there. And if you got to think about also Ron's comments after OTAs, where the first OTAs or the rookie mini camps, where he said they had a lot of first year, second year, third year guys that played a lot of snaps, a lot of meaningful snaps, not just garbage time snaps. So they kind of know what they can do. They know what they have going forward with those younger guys. And hey, if you want to build a team that only has 2, maybe 3 guys over the age of 30, that only bodes well for the future of this team. So I'm with you guys where I'm going to coach. I'm going to trust coach and the coaching staff.
Yeah, and this brings up something to mind that came out today. Julie made a comment on it. So did John Keim and others. Before we get into other fan questions and would you rathers, Coach Rivera announced that it cut short OTAs by 1 week, and he bumped up the mandatory minicamp by a week. I think, what did he say, June 11th to the 16th, I think it was?
I think so,
is that they bumped it up too? Now, I wanted to get your guys' opinions on this and what you think it really means. Is it a big deal? Is it not? Does this mean that Coach really is seeing out of the team? What do you think it means, Hall?
Yeah, I think it means he likes what he's seen so far. I think he's liked the intensity at the practices or the OTAs. I think that he's obviously liked that there's been, 86 out of the 90 people there. And the other 4, obviously, they probably told Ron why they weren't there. And it's obviously, you got to think also it's involuntary, not mandatory yet. But I think that like I said, I like he likes what he's seen so far. I think that he likes the energy that the guys have been bringing. It means he has a pulse on this team to be like, all right, these guys know what they're doing. These guys have kind of gotten it. Let me give them a little bit more time off, but then also get them ready a week earlier, a little bit earlier, or something like that. So. I mean, I love it, and like I said, it just means that Ron has his finger on the pulse of this team, and he's actually listening to what the players are saying and kind of suggesting.
Yeah, dude. I thought about it first. I was like, man, that's awesome. That means he's really liking what he's seeing, and he's getting everything gearing towards. He's saying, all right, let's get this thing going. I'm liking what I got here. But my guy, WFT News, brought up a fantastic point that I didn't think about that I have to tell you guys. He said, I can't help but wonder if this is a power move. 2 of the best young players on the team don't attend voluntary camp, so Rivera cancels voluntary camp and moves up mandatory camp. That is a great, great point there. Is that one of the power moves from Rivera saying, okay, Chase and Montez, you guys want to go do your own thing. You won't come here for voluntary when you guys are the leaders. You're the voice and the heart of this team. In reality, you should be here. I'm not going to kill you for it. But instead of killing you for it and punishing you, I'm going to move up mandatory camp instead. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I didn't think about that. That would make a lot of sense. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's just Ron does like what he sees, and I think you're right. It's probably a combination of things. He's like, well, I can do this because we've looked good, and I kind of want to talk to Montez and Chase, get them out here, and just really see what we have. So it's probably a combination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I feel like JP Finley and Brian Mitchell, I was listening to their show a couple of days ago when they first reported that Chase and Montez and the rest of those guys weren't there. Obviously, Charles Leno just had a baby. He has a pretty good excuse.
Right.
But
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But he was saying that a lot of like the football trainers and like what's going on right now is not, like they've already been through it, they already know it, so it's kind of more of like their personal trainers kind of get them more like of a workout, more of like football related stuff and more football related activities. And he feels like if they were actually doing like installs and like going over newer things, then those guys would be out there and like obviously like be there. So that's also one little nugget they're out there too.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that crossed my mind is maybe Chase and Montez are together. I don't think it's any coincidence that those two are the ones that didn't show up. They seem like very good friends. They play the same position. What if they're getting specialized training from an old pass rusher or a coach, something like that? You know what I mean? Like, what if they came and found out that they were getting linking up with Julius Peppers and stuff? Like, that would be awesome. That would make us feel a lot better about what they're doing. So a lot of credit to Watching Football Team News. Didn't think about that. Did catch you by surprise. Now, let's move on to our fan questions of Would You Rathers that we were on before. First one is from our 4th honorary member of the pod, and that is Mr. Toddington. Todd, thank you very much. And this is a great one. He said, would you rather have to fight every player on the O-line or the D-line?
Okay, I will go first. So first of all, there are more offensive line players generally. However, have you seen that D-line? Have you seen those freaks of nature? I wouldn't want to fight Jonathan Allen. I wouldn't want to fight Deron Payne. I would not want to fight Chase Young. I would not want to fight Montez Sweat. Look at that reach on that man. I would not want to fight Tim Settle. Matt Ioannidis is a Greek freak, they call him. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I am fighting the offensive line, and I am taking that L still, but it's okay. At least I don't get my face pounded in.
The way that I look at it, Todd, is that, you know, I can run away from the offensive line. I can't run away from the D-line. You know, Montez Sweat ran, what, a 4.4? Chase Young, I think, was like a 4.5, 4.6.
He didn't run, but he's –
Oh, yeah, he didn't. But they're freaks. So, like, I can't run away from them. Offensive line, I think I got a step or two. So I'd rather fight the offensive line because at least I can get away.
Nah, I'm right there with you. I'd definitely rather fight the O-line. I mean, like you said, look at the D-line. These dudes are, like, just nasty, just heathens. Like, I don't even want no parts of that. Right. And also, at the end of the day – you know, you got to think about it. A lot of offensive linemen wear like knee braces and stuff. They got really bad knees. Hey, one kick to the knee, one punch to the knee.
You know that's not. You know that's not for injuries and bad knees, right?
I know.
A lot of teams say mandatory. Yeah, mandatory. They have those knee braces because have you ever seen offensive linemen get injured when a player falls in the back of their leg? It's because it's hyperextending that knee. I'm telling everyone else. It hyperextends the knee. So what that happens is with the mandatory, they wear the brace because that knee can't slip out of place. If somebody were to fall on them, the brace is holding it in. That's why it's like Virginia Tech, for example, all their linemen wear braces. It's just something that they do.
Hey, all I'm saying is close to 300 pounds or 300 pounds plus. Can't be good on the knees. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's true.
It is a good point. Now, our next Would You Rather is from Harry Morgan. Would you rather see Washington football team win one playoff game or see Dallas lose the Super Bowl to some other team?
I would rather see Washington win a playoff game. I just don't want Dallas making the Super Bowl at all. Right. I don't want to tune into that. I don't want to hear that.
Let's adjust it just a smidge, Harry. I don't mean any disrespect. Let's make it, would you rather see Washington lose in a playoff game or see Dallas lose the Super Bowl?
Oh, that's a pretty tough one.
Because if the Dallas goes to the Super Bowl, we don't make the playoffs, if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, yeah, we still could. I don't want to see Dallas in the Super Bowl. I don't want to see Dallas in the Super Bowl.
I'm saying for this particular scenario.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm so used to that. I will take us losing. You know, I don't want to see Dallas in the Super Bowl. Do you know you will never hear the end of that from their fans ever? Yeah. They still talk about the one from the 90s.
Dude, I was one of the only – I'm going to say one of the only. I was one of the loudest speaking dudes saying I would much rather be in the playoffs and then lose and try to get draft capital and get higher – I get it, but I would rather go to the playoffs any day of the week, times 10. That's what I'm going for.
I just honestly just switched my answer up. My first answer was going to be I'd rather see Dallas lose and then the Super Bowl just because, like, it'd be so much – you already know, Dallas fans, we're back, we're in the Super Bowl, we're going to be a dynasty.
Doing that for a year.
And they lose, and there'd just be so much heartbreak and so much anger and just so much.
That would be nice.
So much joy in my life. But I would much rather be a perennial playoff contending team that's always 17 games now? So 9-10 games or better every year. Always in the mix to win the division. always in the playoffs. And if you lose, guess what? Do theory. You're going to win one eventually. So, bam.
I like it. I like that thinking. Yeah. Now, Big Doug from the Big Douglas Show, a fellow podcaster.
What's up?
He said, would you rather be able to talk about the Redskins and say Redskins, but not be able to actually watch the Washington football team ever again?
No, not me. I understand people's attachment to the name. I'm okay with Washington football team as long as I get to watch the games. You can call them the Ronix, the Derek Carrs for all I care. You know? You can call them the Flamingos. I don't care. You can call them the artists formerly known as Princes. I'll watch it.
Nah, look, man. I said it back then. I've been saying it for a while. One of the only reasons why I'd be okay with the name change is to get away from the original racist owner, and nobody can argue against that. He was. So I really don't mind not saying Redskins. Look, I love the history. I loved our history. It's great. But the fact is, like, I love the team, not the name of it. You know what I mean? I understand there's other people who have clings to it and emotional connections. It's just not the same for me, and I totally get that, but that's just my personal opinion. So I would watch a football team any day of the week.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I would definitely pick watch them. Yeah, I mean, I've just been watching this team since like I was a little kid, so I feel like a piece of me would be taken away if I couldn't watch the team anymore. Plus all the stuff you said where I'm kind of just like the name was kind of just like, obviously I love the name, and like I said, I grew up loving this team, but at the end of the day, like you said, to get away from the whole racist side of things, I pretty much want to get to a point where like people don't have anything to talk about with Washington football except for Washington football. I don't want all the other stupid stuff and everything like that. So if you can get as far away from that as possible, I'm 100% okay with that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Now, this next one's funny. It's directed at me, but I will give credit because it's kind of funny because he threw Andy under the bus. Scott Harley said Andy had asked him to send this one in for Kyle specifically. After the Brits come over and you're drunk, Kyle, would you rather throw up in Hall's hat or Reed's shoes?
Careful with your answer here.
I would say Reed's shoes.
No, dude, I got Yeezys 24/7. That's not cool.
My thought process here, you have to bear with me a little bit because, like, obviously Hall would never wear the hat ever again, whatever have you. My thought process is that Reed probably has stinky feet, and so he could use that to cover it up. You know, you could just wash them.
Point.
You could just wash them. They'd smell good. Yeah. So maybe I'm helping Lindsay out a little bit.
Yeah, no, that's probably true. Yeah, you're right.
You're
right. You're right.
Yeah,
I would rather throw up in Hall's hat than my shoes, if that helps.
Now, I'd rather throw up my own hat than your shoes, so if that helps.
Thanks, man. That was very nice of you.
That was very nice. You guys are so cute.
Yeah, you're
the mics stick together.
It's a mic
nice guy.
Our next Would You Rather is from Washington Football Team News. And this is in regarding to Washington football team games. I just want to put that caveat in there before I say this because I was confused. You can only watch or listen. Do you watch the first half and listen to the second, or listen to the first half and watch the second?
I've had to do this a few times where I can only listen to the first half and then watch the second. I'll go with that, especially because with how poor we've played in the first half at times over the last year or so. Then we always come out swinging in the second half. I'd rather see that. And, plus you can kind of tune it out when you're losing a little bit in the first half. But listen to the first half, watch the second half.
So watching football team news, I played baseball, right? So I'm that kind of like, oh, all this crap is happening. I have noticed that when I watch it first, and for example, the Thanksgiving game against Dallas, I was having Thanksgiving dinner at my in-laws' house. Anybody that knows me personally knows I got a bunch of family. I go to 3 different spots on Thanksgiving. Very, very busy. Watched the first half there, left, and then that point explosion just went off with Antonio Gibson against Dallas on the radio. So for me, I'd rather watch the second and listen to the second, because my other example is the Tampa Bay game that Kirk had to come back on. I watched the first half, drove home for the second half, and look what happened. So
basically, you should just never watch the second half, Kyle.
Right. Well, I watched the Pittsburgh game this year, so I think I'm good now. Yeah. I think that's gone. So I watch the first, listen to the second.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle knows what I've been saying for years about this team now. They play one good half and one bad
half. Yep.
They usually play a bad half in the first half, and they usually play a good half in the second half and playing catch-up for whatever reason. Who knows? So, with that being said, the easy answer for me is I'd rather listen to the first. That way I can just be stressing out, but not have to watch it and physically be throwing up everywhere. And then I can watch all the greatness come back in the second half, and I can watch them either come back and almost win and break my heart, or come back and win and be jumping for joy. So, yeah.
I love man. Our next one is from superfan Tony Shivers. Would you rather drop in their prime into the current defense, London Fletcher or Santana?
Oh, that's a good one. So
That's a great one.
I will say wide receivers are more valuable. However, London Fletcher, I think London Fletcher's borderline Hall of Fame. I think he should be a Hall of Famer. He was the leader of that defense. You have a good middle linebacker like that, you can do so much. I hate to say it, but I would rather keep London in his prime.
You're talking about in his prime. Look, I love Tana. I'm a huge Tana fan. Always have been. But given with what the needs and weaknesses are with this team right now, what's more valuable to the football team? And that would be, in his prime, London Fletcher going in there with Jamin Davis. And then with Cole Holcomb coming off the bench, my goodness, the linebacking core would be set.
Yeah. Nobody's no Santana Moss. It's an inside joke.
So in our group chat, we have Pittsburgh fans that are in our group chat with us, and they were always talking about Juju, Antonio Brown, Hydes Ward, and the ongoing inside joke would always be that I would comment and say, "Yeah, there's no Santana.
There's no Santana. There is no other Santana.
He's no Tana."
But like you said, just like based off the weaknesses that we have left on this team, you got to go with prime in his prime London. I mean, again, like you say, he's a borderline Hall of Famer. Should be in the Hall of Fame, along with my man Brian Mitchell, who's like second or maybe first all time in all-purpose yards. I don't know how he's not in the Hall of Fame.
There's so many Washington players that should be in the Hall.
But I would have to go with in his prime London just because like that dude was a dog.
Yeah, it was. Now the next one that Tony has for us is not a would you rather, but is a straight up question, and it's actually a really good one. Who is your favorite small school player on the roster?
What would constitute a small school? Not Division I or like
not the Power 5.
I'm gonna go with the easy one, Jimmy Moreland. I think Jimmy's a fantastic guy. He's a good player. He ranked very high according to PFF this past season. The dude likes to talk a lot. We had him on the show. He was hilarious. He was so funny, and he was just doing it while walking around Disney, and he was cool. And you got to go Jimmy Moreland. I think that's just nice, easy answer.
For me, it's Matt Ioannidis coming from Temple. Just because I know it's not a small school, but they're on the come up.
Right.
Yeah, they're on the come up. They're doing well. So for me, it's Matt Ioannidis. One of the dudes that nobody expected to do anything, kind of like Jimmy, came out in the later ends of the draft. Look at him, balling out right now. So Matt Ioannidis for me.
Chase Young. I don't know. I guess would you constantly
you throwing shade at Ohio State, you Michigan fan?
I didn't think about that. I mean, I don't know. Would Memphis be considered a small school? Like, I mean, like it's still Power 5 technically.
Yeah, but it's I guess they've been on the come up. But right.
One of it's in the Power 5, but like the weak, like nobody talks about.
I got you.
So I'm gonna go with my man Antonio Gibson. He's been my boy since day one. Ever since we drafted him, I've been on the Gibby train. It's a fun train to be on. Everyone can hop on. We got mad room over here.
We got mad room over here. That was great. Absolutely great. Thank you so much, Tony. That was phenomenal. Now, our next question that we have, would you rather every shirt you wear be kind of itchy or only be able to use one ply of toilet paper?
Oh, my God. Oh, man. You think about that. That one's tough.
That is rough, bro.
I kind of
excited about this.
No pun.
I kind of have to go with every shirt be a little bit itchy. Like that sucks, but like there's no chance I'm getting away with one ply of toilet paper. That's not happening. I'm sorry. Like I don't know. I couldn't do that, and it sucks because I hate being itchy more than anything in the world. And
yeah, dude. Ever since I was a kid, that's like the one thing I couldn't stand. Like my dad always has this story. He tells about how like they were trying to make me wear a turtleneck, and I was like. Hated it because it was like itching my nose. I was like, no, I can't wear it. No. I would scream about it. No, I do not want to be itchy whatsoever. If I need to, I'll use one ply and then I'll go sit my butt in like the bathtub or something and just like jiggle my butt around. Hopefully that works. But like, I'll do what I can. I cannot live with itchy t-shirts. That cannot happen. I would go insane.
What if you have to poop at like a store or something and there's nowhere to put your butt and wipe your bum?
I'm going in the sink.
Imagine seeing you would definitely get Febrezed like I did at home.
They got paper towels in there. It's cool.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, there's no way I can rock with like some one ply toilet paper. like literally impossible. So, yeah.
You're going itchy shirts.
Yeah.
Hall does that though. Hall loves itchy shirts. Like there's shirts I won't wear and he'll wear them no problem.
Nah, I actually hate like being
what a
itchy.
weird thing to say. Somebody likes likes itchy stuff.
He loves
Dude, it's true.
The whole closet full of them. What do you mean? Nah, but I mean, I hate like scratching myself. Like I hate bug bites. I hate being itchy. So I mean,
the reason I know that is because we work together, so we get handed shirts all the time, and like he'll wear a shirt that like I put on. I was like, dude, no, there's no way. It's like the texture of it. I'm like, no.
Hall only wears shirts with real tags on them because every kid likes those cut off.
Yeah, that's great. Now our next one from Scott. Would you rather only be to use a fork, no spoon, or only be able to use a spoon and no fork?
Oh, I've thought about this one kind of before. First of all, greatest invention of all time is the spork. I will say that because you get the best of both worlds. But I'm gonna go with use a spoon. Like it's tough, but like I'm a big cereal guy. I'm a big soup guy. I can't do that with a fork. However, I can MacGyver my way into cutting a steak with a spoon if I really wanted to. You know.
Yeah. So are you saying spoon?
I'm going with a spoon. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going with fork just because I'm not a drug addict. I don't need spoons.
All right, Demi Lovato, chill.
Don't talk about them like that.
No, seriously,
that's true. Don't talk about them like that. All 6 of them.
Don't talk about them like that. A fork all day long, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I got to go fork just because, I mean, I can always use.
Look, and I'm right with Reed, though, man. I'm a cereal mark, dude. I'll eat cereal all the time.
Yeah,
I don't care.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Think about it, though. You can still use a fork for a spoon.
Yeah. You just gotta take the bite and then drink a little bit of milk.
But then you get no milk in your bites.
Well, I'm not.
That's why you gotta drink a little bit of milk after the bite.
I'm a milk guy.
I despise milk. When I was a baby, I never drank milk once in my life.
You look like it, actually.
I drank milk.
What does that even mean?
It means you're.
You look like you don't drink milk.
You look like you've never drank milk before.
I do have a lot of broken bones. So they call me Mr. Glass.
I was just about to say that.
Call me Mr. Glass.
And I'm unbreakable. That's why we work well together. I'm Bruce Willis.
Oh, that's great. Now we have a would you rather from Sergio Martin from Spain. Would you rather have free pancakes, free cupcakes, or free donuts? He says it seems that Hall is a very fancy guy and that he would go with cupcakes.
I do love a good cupcake. That was my response on Twitter. But would that be? I'm actually, to tell you the truth, I'm not even like
Hall's bougie. Yes, Hall's bougie.
I am pretty bougie. I'm not even like a really big like sweets guy, to be honest with you. But if I had to pick,
insane.
Yeah, no. But if I had to pick, I do love cupcakes.
If I had to pick,
I'm going pancakes because I fucking love pancakes.
What is wrong with you? Dude, I'm going with donuts all day long, especially duck donuts. I love them. I'm a donut mark. That's why I was fat when I was younger, because I loved them. I cannot stand, look, if I'm going over to a friend's house or, we're going out doing whatever and somebody's making pancakes, I'll have them. I typically do not like pancakes because all you're doing is just eating syrup.
What's wrong with you?
All you're doing is eating syrup. And then the other one with cupcakes, I'm not a big cupcake guy, dude. I'm just not. I'm not a cake guy. I'd rather ice cream cake all day of the week before I would take any cake.
I'm 100%. I'm 100% with you on that one, Kyle. I'm not a big cake guy either. I'm going donuts because a good donut is
should have been a cop.
It's the best. Oh yeah, definitely. I still might be. I might be. You never know. But yeah. Funny story about Hall has never had a carb in his entire life, if you guys can believe that, and he hasn't drank milk, so that's crazy.
I definitely look like it.
But you got that washboard abs, dude. But we got to think of something.
You and Jamin Davis. Twins.
Yeah, dude, he's got a great bod. Dude, he has such a nice body.
I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, Jamin Davis' body is really nice. Good for him. But we got to think of something real fast for Sergio to say, like we say to the UK guys, we're always like, "Oi, we got to get something for Sergio."
It's true. He does. He always contributes.
What from
always
Spain?
Contribute.
What are you gonna?
I don't know. I don't want to sound. I don't want to sound ignorant and say something that's like not.
Ask what his tag wants to be.
Right.
Bam, there it is.
Yeah.
I think it should be goal. All the sports announcers, the Spanish ones, when they score a goal, like goal.
They do want to change it to Washington Football Club.
See?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Get out.
Now, Swift to punish, to wrap this up. Swift to punish wants to know, would you rather eat a spider or eat 10 ants?
Oh, eat 10 ants. They're probably very nutritious with protein. I'm not eating a spider. Never. I don't care. I hate them.
It's someone that has borderline, dangerously bad arachnophobia. there's no way I'm even getting close to a spider. So give me the 10 ants.
This is, I guess 10 ants, dude.
10 ants equals nothing, by the way.
I know.
It's like eating 10 pieces of celery.
The one thing I can't think of, like if you had to eat a spider, like the one thing I could not deal with is like feeling the legs move. Like
exactly.
in your mouth,
if it's a poisonous spider, and then you just got poison all up in you, and now you got venom everywhere, and then
right. What if it's a hairy one? What if it's hairy?
Turn to Spider-Man.
No, not the hairy ones.
Yeah. True story. One time I was at a wedding, and I was DJing a wedding, and I had a monster, and I was getting set up. So I put the monster down on the table, and it was already open because I was drinking it throughout. And I was rushing, getting set up, whatever. It was the middle of summer. I come back and I take a sip, and all of a sudden I feel something in my mouth, and I'm just like, oh, what the hell? And I spit, and there's a bee that went in there, stung the inside of my lip. I go up to the bride, and I'm like, hey, I got to get you guys in line for introductions. And she's like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I had to be like, what's wrong? And she was like, your lip. And my lip was like this fat. And I was like, oh, I just got stung by a bee. And then luckily the lady there was like a beekeeper for some reason. One of them. And
what?
She was like, here's what you do. You take an onion, cut it in half, set it on there. So I had to walk around with an onion on my lip for like the entire wedding. Yeah, it sucked, but it was pretty cool though.
I bet your breath smelled great after that. Putting an onion in your mouth for that long.
I was like, Kyle, don't tell people about that.
No, that happened to us at Bass Rock with Hizzer. Hizzer did that. We were all drinking, having a good time. Put his beer down. We're chilling in the water. All of a sudden, he's like, Mama! And his lip was gigantic.
Yeah, I can still feel that bee's legs and the stinger in my mouth, and they were just so sharp, all of them.
Every time we went to Bass Rock, somebody got hurt. One time, Jimmy like sprained his ankle. I'll never forget. One time, Joe went down there with his wife now and Dawn, and she like had slipped her foot into like a hole. So it's like there's like liquid in this hole because it's on rocks in the river. But her foot goes in. And I guess there was broken beer glass in there. So she like cuts her foot. Joe the entire time is like yelling at Dawn up the hill as she's like bleeding up the hill, helping her up the hill. And he's like, oh, now we got to leave. Dawn had to cut her foot.
Joe is a national treasure, that guy is.
Dude, Joe, the best of it, the one night we went camping, and we were like, for some reason, like we were setting up the fire, and he wanted to jump over the fire. And Dawn was like, Joe, don't do it, you're drunk. And he looks back at her, he's like, I ain't never catch on fire. And he jumps over the fire. He doesn't clear it, and he has to like turn sideways just to get over it.
Did he catch on fire that time?
No, he did not.
Okay, good. So he's still.
It's Joe Bainham, dude. He ain't never catch on fire.
He's never caught on fire before a day in his life. That's including playing NBA Jam and everything. So
that was an inside joke for us for the longest time. I ain't never catch on fire. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions to the episode with your Would You Rathers, for your fan questions. I really appreciate. Thank you to Joey Colby-Begovich and Alice Walsh. You guys really did help us out. Thank you for coming on here and giving us your 2 bits about what's going on with the Washington football team. We got an update, everybody. I love that. All right, everybody. I'm Kyle.
I am Hull.
I'm Reed, and no, James did not end up falling out. I got there right in time, right as he was tipping over. So,
yeah, that was very surprising to me. You like that was right when your question came up and everything.
Yeah, well, I saw him maneuver, and I was like, if this kid stands up, I swear to God. And as soon as it got to me, he started leaning over the side, and I was like, stop doing this. Why do you want to fall so bad all the time?
Yeah.
I gotta lower it.
Like now you know what it's like for me. All right,
yeah,
everybody.
pretty much.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on Tuesday. Washington football. Woo! What's up, everyone? This is Kyle from the Burgundy Zone. We are releasing our own merch to support the show. If you want to rock the Burgundy Zone logo or you want to see Reed's face on your shirt, we got it. We're starting with t-shirts, hoodies, and zip-up. So if you're a fan of the show, make sure you snag one before they are gone. Check out the link in our bio on Instagram, or you can find the link in the description of the video. Thanks again for all your support. Until next time.